JustinFREAKIN definirige głos na Boże.
Hey Justin, are you trolling?
We'll see who counts the food.
This is the Troll live with JustinFREAKIN.
I've had some dipshit in my Twitter replies incredibly upset because I called Destiny a pedo. Which, guess what? Destiny, you're a fucking pedo. Stop messaging underage kids and trying to solicit explicit photographs from them, you fucking creep. And all you weirdos on Twitter that want to dick ride him, stop being weirdo fucking creeps and defending pedos. The dude keeps sharing out a picture of me as if it's some sort of own, which is weird because it's a picture I took. He got it off of my Twitter. It's in my YouTube trailer. It's a video that I did here on the stream. So why they keep thinking that's some sort of own, I'll never know. The picture I took that I used for publicity for my show is somehow an own. Baldy. Flash, Dougie, Warlord, Holiday. John Prick, you dumb fuck. Welcome in. DJ Dub beat me to my joke. Yesterday asked me if I was going to cover the mass shooting that took place in Minneapolis, and I was like, well, I didn't think it was significant enough to cover. There's like one person dead, 2 other people injured or something like that. I think it was like a domestic violence thing. I was like, it wasn't significant enough for me to cover. Chancing fate out here. Now I'm going to cover the mass shooting that happened in Minneapolis. Holy shit. You don't love me, John. We went over this. This is you trying to appear pious. You don't love me. If you did, you wouldn't say stupid shit like that in my chat. You wouldn't like you saying that you would pray for me goes against everything in the fucking Bible, and it's just you being a hypocrite like the Pharisee. We went over this already. So please stop. Warlord out here is just like praying every day that there's a mass shooting in the United States so I can say the line. And once again, when I made this graphic 5 years ago, what should I have expected, right? Like, I didn't know I was going to be using it every other day. But you're not fond of me, John. You come in here and you try to interrupt my show and you try to promote your religious fucking bullshit. That is not you being fond of me. That is not you loving me. That's you being a fucking hypocrite, like all Christians are. That's what I run into constantly. You guys want to act like you love people, but it's just you trying to portray your piousness. You're lying to yourself. You're trying to convince yourself. Not me. Yeah, what part of just another day did I not understand? Here you go, Warlord. Are you ready? Are you ready? It's just another day in mass shooting. USA. Not the only mass shooting that took place today. The 286th so far this year. Why does no one ask me to do the, hey, remember kids, shoot up drugs, not schools? Got a comment. Warlord out here doing the fucking Leo from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He said the line. Fair enough, DJ Dub. Owning me over my own graphic I made. Once again, Destiny, you fucking creep. Stop sending messages to underage girls and trying to solicit explicit pictures from them. You fucking pedo. That's at OmniLiberal on Twitter. Goes by the name of Destiny. What's his real name? Tagged him multiple times. Stephen Bonnell II. Leave Destiny alone. I love that I was vindicated the time that I was on a panel with Destiny. He called me a retard because I asked him if he was on speed, because he was clearly on speed. After the stream, his community confirmed to me he is indeed on speed. I was mocking that dumb fuck Wick for having him on again. Apparently it's another one of those like 4 or 5 people versus Destiny panels, which I I went on, right? I don't know shit about Destiny. You guys know I don't fucking pay attention to other streamers. I don't pay attention to other streamer drama. I know that he sent messages to an underage girl because it's been reported. I only know that against my will. I wish I didn't know who the dude was. So, like, I get invited on that panel because somebody canceled. I'm just making fun of Destiny on Twitter. Fair enough, DJ Dub. It was him probably abusing an ADHD medicine to stay on stream for hours on end because he makes more money that way, and he can blah, 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 and railroad everybody. And usually that's, you know, I'm loud, I talk fast, and before that stream, the day of, I realized Destiny was going to be on it. I was like, I'm going to chill. I'm going to get as high as I possibly can. I'm going to lay back. And I'm going to just try to make jokes. And I'm not going to get up there and blah, 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 blah. But no, I needed to be like Justin on his normal bullshit. As opposed to the laid back hippie. Because like I got run over by Destiny. Because he's on speed. And I knew it because he was doing that with his mouth and talking fast. I've been around people on cocaine, on meth, on, you know, abusing their ADHD medicine. I know what somebody on speed looks like. And I knew for a fact Destiny was on speed. Now, I didn't say it was a bad thing. That's what I got accused for being a hypocrite because I was hitting him a bong the entire time. Guess what? I don't think it's bad he was on speed. Maybe I wanted to do drugs with Destiny. You fucking morons. Don't jump to conclusions. Well, I mean, Wick ain't gonna invite me on again, Flash. I have mercilessly, Ducky, did I tell you good evening? Mercilessly, I can't say that word. Bash the motherfucker. I encourage you to go on. We'll watch you if you go on. But like, Wick ain't gonna invite me back. The only reason I got on that panel in the first place was because I was mocking Destiny in the comments, and somebody bailed out, and he's like, "Well, do you want to come on?" Little did he know that I knew fucking nothing about Destiny, so I had nothing. Because that's what it was. It was supposed to be like people coming in and writing their dissertations about why Destiny is bad, which it was, Is Destiny a Sophist? Was the title, which, by the way, I asked him if he was on speed, which he was, and he called me a retard. So, Destiny absolutely is a sophist. He proved that. Oh. Let's get started, I guess, because I want to get through this, because the news just, it's upsetting. No possums. No possums back in my apartment. I was able to play video games last night for 2 or 3 hours without any possum interrupting me. So, yay! I saw a lot of people say thoughts and prayers and shit. The kids were literally praying when they were shot. Holy shit. This was the press conference held by Police Chief Brian O'Hara just like an hour ago.
Brian O'Hara, B-R-I-A-N, O''H-A-R-A. I am the Minneapolis Police Chief.
You got your calipers, Flash?
Good afternoon, and thank you all for your patience as we continue to gather the facts in this investigation into this truly unthinkable tragedy that happened here earlier today. I want to make sure that we are providing the most accurate information.
You know, it might be unthinkable if this wasn't the 286th mass shooting this year. Might be unthinkable.
Possible, particularly as we speak around our victims. At this point, we know we have a total of 19 victims from this tragedy. 2 were young children, ages 8 and 10, that were sitting in the pews at Mass when they were shot and killed. They were pronounced deceased on the scene. There were another 14 children between the ages of 6 and 15 that were injured by gunfire. There were also 3 adults in their 80s that were parishioners here attending Mass that were also shot in this incident. The families of all of the children that have been affected have been notified. The coward that shot these victims took his own life in the rear of the church. That coward has been identified as 23-year-old Robin Westman. No prior criminal history. As to the weapons used to perpetrate this horrific attack, there was a rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol. All 3 had been lawfully purchased by the shooter. At this stage, we believe that the shooter had acted alone. There is no indication of other suspects directly involved in carrying out this attack. Our investigators are working with other agencies in the process of executing 4 search warrants. One is for the church itself, where this crime occurred. The other 3 are residences nearby in the metro that are related to this shooter. Additional firearms are being recovered from those 3 residential locations as we speak. We are also aware of a manifesto that the shooter had timed to be released on YouTube.
Yep, we're going to get into that.
This manifesto appeared to show him at the scene and included some disturbing writings. That content has since been taken down with the assistance of the FBI, and it now remains under active review by our investigators. We know this community is reeling and is in pain.
Well, Thistle Girl, if you read his writings,
Everyone in our community.
if you read the shooter's writings, you will find that the man very much was full of hate. He's a right-wing Nazi who loved GOP candidates, by the way. We're going to get into that. Told you to go vote for one. So, it is a hate crime perpetrated by the far right in this country.
This parish, all of the families affected, and all of our residents, that all of law enforcement collectively, local law enforcement, our county, our state, and all of our federal law enforcement partners have been here, and we are all working tirelessly to uncover the full scope of what happened, to try and identify a motive why it happened, and whether there are any other further details. We will continue to share updates as the investigation progresses, and we remain committed
Yeah, it seems that he targeted the school because his mom worked
the
there,
integrity of this investigation.
not because of anti-Christian hate.
Thank you, Archbishop. As I mentioned, obviously the investigation continues and it's
Who
preliminary.
is making the
stages.
shooter the victim?
I will take some
That sounds like
questions
some
now.
weird
Additionally,
fucking
we will,
projection on your part.
Provide some updated information.
How are the injured students doing? What are their conditions at this point?
The question from Matt was, how are the injured students doing? I believe all of them have their parents with them now, and they are all expected to survive. All of the remaining victims are expected to survive. There is a range of injuries, however.
Chief, you said the weapons were acquired legally. Do we know when
Yes.
and where they were acquired?
I can tell you they were purchased recently.
Chief, can you tell us anything more about a possible motive here? We've also heard reports
Too goddamn easy to get a gun in this country.
was employed here at some point. Can you confirm that as well?
Okay. So the question was on a possible motive and a relationship to the church or to the school. I have no information to share on a motive.
His mom was a retired employee from the
That there
school.
was some sort of manifesto that was timed to come out on YouTube. It's been taken down, and our investigators are going through that.
Oh, it's been taken down, but that ain't going to stop me from playing it.
Additionally, there are these 3 search warrants happening in residential locations, and we may very well, find more information or writings that could give some sense to that, but we don't have that now. And I cannot confirm a relationship between the suspect or his family and this church at this time, but that's obviously something we're looking very closely at.
Can you confirm at this point whether it was in fact
by the suspect, or do you believe at this point that it is in fact from him? And second question.
What was by the suspect? I'm sorry.
We're gonna get into that, DJ Dub.
So the question was about the manifesto. We do believe it was by the suspect, yes.
And we understand that we see some documents about the name change that somebody with the same name as the suspect has filed for a few years ago.
Yep.
Do you believe this to be the same person, that Robin Westman was in fact born with a different name at this point? And can you speak a little bit more about the identity?
Yep. So the question was about the suspect, and he had a name change at some point in the past. I cannot confirm that, other than confirming the identity, the name that I gave you, the age. That is the suspect. That's the person that we believe has caused this.
Chief, you mentioned these videos posted on YouTube, seemingly scheduled to be posted right after the shooting. Is there anything that the suspect posted days prior, months prior, that could...
Oh yeah, they've been all over the internet posting about how they're going to shoot up a school, but the FBI
YouTube videos were scheduled to be posted.
too busy with other things right now,
Media that may,
like combing through the Epstein files.
We do not
make sure
have
Trump isn't
information
mentioned.
on that at this time that I'm able to share. However, our investigators and our law enforcement partners are definitely looking at that.
How many children and parishioners were in the church when this happened?
So the question was how many children and parishioners were in the church when this happened. This was towards the beginning of Mass, so some of the children were already filed into the church and were seated. Others were coming in. I've heard estimates, but we will release a more definitive number.
Minneapolis police officers have had a couple of days. I know we're talking about the children.
Yep.
There were several shootings yesterday.
Yep.
How is the resourcing going for you? Are you getting help from other places?
Yep. So Sue's question was resources for Minneapolis police due to the other challenges we've had the last 24 hours. Obviously, this has been the most difficult.
There was some sort of bridge collapse. Am I correct on that, DJ Dub?
The dozens of officers that responded to this scene, many of them are deeply traumatized by what they saw, as are obviously all of the children, all of the staff members, Father Dennis, everyone who was at Mass this morning. So obviously that has been our number one priority, is to care for the health and wellness of the officers that responded here. Additionally, obviously...
Oh, no, I was wrong. There was a celebration on the 18th anniversary of a bridge collapse. That's what they... I saw it in the news that the officers had been at like another event about a bridge collapse. But no, it was a celebration on the 18th anniversary, like the reopening of this bridge.
We have responded to other challenging situations and other acts of violence. I can say, in regard to the shooting that happened outside of the high school yesterday, we have arrested 2 people for assisting in that shooting. We have not gotten the shooter yet, but we believe we have 2 people under arrest that were present with the shooter when that happened, and we're making significant progress. There was an additional arrest at a homicide last night that happened on the 2700 block of 3rd Avenue South. That person has not been booked specifically for being responsible for that murder, but we believe that is the person who caused that. So, no.
Okay, so maybe he was referring to the other shooting that had taken place. I'd seen something about the bridge in a news report that I read earlier. Here is, and I'll hit the content warning for this because it's probably going to rip our hearts out. One of the students describes the scene of the shooting earlier today. This is a 10-year-old.
My friend got hit in the back.
Did he go to the hospital?
Yeah, he went to the hospital.
What went through your mind when you saw that?
I was super scared for him, but I think now he's okay. I was scared that I wasn't going to see her because I didn't know what was happening, really. I was just in shock. It was like right beside me. I was like 2 seats away from the stained glass windows. So they were like, the shots were like right next to me. The first one, I was like, what is that? I thought it was just something. Then when I heard it again, I just ran under the pew. And then I covered my head. My friend Victor like saved me though, because he laid on top of me, but he got hit.
Your friend laid on top of you?
Yeah. And he got hit.
Is this something that you've practiced before?
Yeah, we practice it like every month, or I don't know, but yeah, we've never practiced it in the church though. Only in school, so it was way different.
What do you want to say to your friend who helped protect you?
He's really brave, and I hope he's good in the hospital.
And what do you want to say to everyone that had to go to the hospital?
I hope you're okay, and I'm praying for you.
It's covered the local news talking about who the shooter was, and then I have the manifesto video that they had set to premiere on YouTube.
Are learning more about the named killer, Robin Westman. Neighbors have been sharing new photos with us of Robin. You're looking at them now. They're obviously a number of years old. He appears to be a teenager in these photos. The neighbors came out and shared with our team, who's been out gathering information, and we've also been able to translate some of Robin's diary entries from what police are calling a manifesto that was scheduled to be posted after the shootings took place. You know, that manifesto has since been taken down by the FBI, but police and FBI are using that video of the manifesto as part of their investigation. The manifesto is written using Russian letters to write English words. Think of the word gun. You know, they use that word, instead of writing the word gun in Russian, it actually uses the Russian letters to spell out the English word gun. So it's taking us quite a while to try to translate exactly what is there. And, you know, while we're not going to cover most of what has been written because it is extremely violent, it deals with a lot of suicidal and homicidal thoughts, some of the entries do give context to today's mass shooting. We have video that we should be showing you here of a picture that we took from the video. Right now you're looking at some of the manifesto that was posted, but one of the images that was posted was a drawing of the church and like a handwritten sketch, and we've translated the caption in the top left to say Annunciation by memory, meaning he sketched out what the church looked like from memory. Now, we know Robin went to Annunciation Church for at least a year and that his mother worked there. A source close to the school tells KARE 11 in the year Robin went to Annunciation, there were consistent disciplinary issues, although we don't know exactly what those consisted of. In the diary, an entry written on May 23rd of this year, Robin wrote an entry describing an obsession with mass shootings, specifically school shootings. Robin wrote about having memories of the obsession dating back to 7th grade and talking about the shootings with friends at a young age. The diary or manifesto describes that the comments scared children and were later reported to adults. Then on August 20th, in one of the last entries that was posted online, Robin writes about visiting the church and the plans to carry out the act. Robin writes about the teachers being in a training week that was happening at the time and how they were probably receiving active shooter training. And the killer wrote, "I bet they won't anticipate an attack in the first week." Also discussed checking all the doors to see how they could be barricaded and considered using lumber. You know, Chief O'Hara told us earlier that they did find 2x4s that were used to actually trap people into the school so that no one could get out while this mass shooting was taking place. On August 21st, a final entry in one of the diaries. It discusses practicing at a shooting range leading up to the event. And my team was just sending me notes here in the last few minutes as we're getting more and more translations from Russian to English and figuring out exactly what the named killer was writing about. And he was concerned as of July 29th about money, that he didn't have enough money to purchase the rifle. Chief O'Hara told us that the rifle, the shotgun, and the handgun appeared to have been all purchased recently, purchased legally, but purchased recently. And we can tell from the manifesto that it appears as of the end of July, those firearms had yet to be purchased.
AJ, obviously significant that the shooter visited the school the week before. Is there a significance to him going to the shooting range?
I would assume.
Have the firearms, as of the end of July, at least the rifle, from what we can tell. He's writing about wanting to make sure they all work, that the scopes, the red dot scope specifically was written about, were worked and sighted in. So it appears that he would have been there practicing and learning how the guns worked and how they shot.
It was this morning in Minneapolis.
The chief confirmed what your team had found, that he had no criminal history.
Yeah, this 23-year-old did not have a criminal history. Like we said, we were hearing from folks that there was mental health issues that folks who knew him were aware of.
2 dead, 14 injured.
Years, but certainly, as you just said, Julie, nothing.
All 14 are expected to make it.
A criminal level, and certainly nothing that prevented him from going out and legally purchasing these.
But the victims were between like 8 and 12.
All right, AJ, we appreciate your investigative work. Thanks so much.
As for why, T minus, welcome in clinically, Lenny. Anybody else I missed? Parkour's, Shelly. We cover all the mass shootings here on the show, so it's not unusual for us to be talking about it. This one is getting pushed by the right because the shooter identified as trans. I don't know what is going to become clear to you guys as we watch their video here. This is the one that was posted to YouTube. They had set it to release after the shooting. What's going to become clear is that they are very much a Nazi. Lot of Nazism going on here. So and they were also very deep into the mythology of school shooters. And also I have them on video promoting a Republican candidate. So I don't think it's too far out of the realm of possibility. The name change happened the petition was filed in 2019. It was granted in 2020. Other than the name change, I couldn't find anything else that identified them as trans. But apparently in the documentation, it did say that they identified as female. That was in the petition for the name change. But we don't know anything beyond that. This is the 286th this year. DJ Dub, I struggle with, making this person famous. But also, it's kind of what we do here. Markov, we're going to get into that. I struggle with this, but I feel like the local news doesn't do a good job. I don't know where I fall on the, you shouldn't give them the fame that they wanted. A lot of news organizations have taken to not saying their names. I don't know where I fall on that. This is the video that they had set to release today that ended up getting taken down. Blackmailing the trans community. We did last night, Drake.
Where's my note to my family and shit? Wow, some English writing. Wow. Hope you can read that.
Starting off with I love you all. You all are what kept me going. I find no more interest in anything material. I have only an interest in my mission and love for my family. Saying love over and over again is kind of odd. If I didn't have such an amazing group of people around me, I would have been gone much sooner. I didn't want to escape from this world, escape from the constant bills, shitty jobs, shitty people, and injustice of America. I am done with this. I will not bow. I will be selfish and leave you to pick up the pieces. It's my fault, blame me, but please move on. The top says, I think I'm dying of cancer. It's a tragic end, as it's entirely self-inflicted. I did this to myself as I cannot control myself. I mean, clearly they're like a paranoid schizophrenic or something, right? That's what I'm getting from this.
Peace, love, unity, and guns.
Peace, love, unity, and guns.
Пока, my brata. Пока. Shit. 9mm.
Get fucked.
This message brought to you by BlackRock and ExxonMobil. Sponsored by Pabst Blue Ribbon. Brandon Herrera for president.
Brandon Herrera is a Republican candidate for the House in Minnesota who runs a gun nut YouTube channel.
Yeah, I met Brandon Herrera at SHOT Show last year. He and I had a brief conversation, but like we agreed on a lot of things. So y'all should vote for Brandon Herrera for president. And Vintage Warfare promotes love and peace.
There's the Nazi okay.
And accepting differences. Tomorrow, I'm sorry to my family. But that's it. That's the only people I'm sorry to. Fuck those kids.
The only people he's sorry to is his family.
Skibbity. Skibbity. Shit.
Yeah, clearly the internet radicalizes motherfucker.
I didn't ask for life. You didn't ask for death. I'll make my own fucking stars. Yeah. Watch my 9mm go bang.
So the writing on the guns, some of it's in Russian. Several of them are Nazi slogans, like 6 million weren't enough.
I'm the woker, baby. Why so curious?
See there, fuck you, eat shit, and then I love you.
Where's your fucking god now? Shit.
He was also obsessed with other mass shooters.
Skibbity Riz.
Fuck everything that you stand for.
Gone gang.
For the children. I'm not gonna repeat several of these things. This is the big one.
The big boy. Fucking ripping.
Now he does mention Donald Trump. Apparently not a fan of Trump.
That's the big one.
A lot of Nazis aren't fans of Trump. They feel that he is too pro-Israel. So just throwing it out there.
Don't forget to live, laugh, and love. Samantha. There's no fucking...
Could have done us all a favor and took himself out right then.
This one's for me, in case I need it.
He apparently fired from all of the firearms that he had. So that's the one he took his life with, probably.
Extra thick. Eat shit, motherfucker. Ah, koshmar.
Does that say nuke India? I think I also saw release the list. Israel must fall. Yes. I'm assuming they are horrible shot. There are multiple mass shooters mentioned.
Kiss me, I am fucking home.
I like kiss me on the end of it.
Got that bitch loaded. My precious. Thank God for private. Vivimos en el sociedad.
He does seem to have good penmanship.
Help me, I don't want to be here. Well, you're here.
Yeah, they were outside the church, not inside. But still, with that kind of firepower. But did hit 16 of his targets.
Where she got motherfucking Breivik engine. Fuck optics.
Fuck optics. I feel like he's well aware of or they are well aware of the optics.
That dude raped someone. Yeah, man. Oh, yeah. Got my new headphones so I can hear them scream. Nice, nice. Oh, good shit. Here's my belt. Yeah.
I mean, incoherent nonsense, but it's clear that they have been on 4chan, deep in the Reddit, and Telegram channels or something.
Good shit, man. Bro. Oh, yeah. Check. I got my
That's a nice knife.
Gazoo. Better than the best. I got my Minnesota patch.
That's why with his fetishizing other shooters,
maybe I look like
we saw the attention. This is clearly somebody who spends a lot of time in right-wing communities. We saw the attention that it got when the shooter was trans. That's why I don't know that this wasn't planned. But the name change was 5 years ago.
Rushed or something, I don't know. But shit, let's fucking do this before anxiety kicks in. Ew.
Yeah, they were underage when the name change happened.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Check this out. Got more Jew gas taped on this end.
What?
This will be for the emergency exit. Pop it.
420 blaze it. Weed bad.
This is all too fucking real. Nigga.
Come.
Tomorrow. I love you.
And once again, this was the video that was set to premiere on YouTube after he committed the shooting.
It's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel really good.
Did he put that on the end? Did he put that on the end? Pictures of the shooter. Other than the pigtails, I can't even tell that they were attempting to live as a woman. I'm skeptical because they clearly are very online. They clearly know about optics. That they knew in their manifesto, they said this would have happened a long time ago if they didn't have a loving and supporting family. Reading the manifesto and all the instances of "I love you," "I'm sorry," just crazy to me. Broken clock, right? Twice a day. That's what's getting ready to happen here. Former Republican Congressman Trey Gowdy, on with Fox News, actually hits the nail on the head.
Our system is reactive. Something bad happens, we react to it. And what people are crying for now is, how can we prevent this? How can we stop it? And the only way to stop it is to identify the shooter ahead of time or keep the weapons out of their hands. And so we're going to have a conversation of freedom versus protecting children. I mean, how many school shootings does it take before we're going to have a conversation about keeping firearms out? It's always a young white male, almost always. I mean, did anyone this morning think, I wonder if that was a female? Did any of y'all think that? I mean, there's been one school shooting involving a female. One. Yeah, Tennessee. But other than that, it is usually young white men.
They were probably on testosterone.
Laws on the books for these types of situations.
Like what?
Well, murder.
Our system is reactive.
Murder charges aren't going to keep guns out of the hands of mentally unstable people. I don't know about Trump replacing Bondi because Bondi seems to be doing what Trump wants. And I don't know that Trey Gowdy is all that popular with the Republicans. What Trump has wanted of Bondi is to try to distract from the Epstein files. That's for fucking sure. U.S. Representative Mike Collins of Georgia, caught on a hot mic.
I didn't get to ask my question, which was, party unity, the Epstein files. I mean, do you think Trump's in there?
Yeah, I'm sure he's in there. Because he's the one that was telling the FBI about it. He's the one that kicked the guy out of Mar-a-Lago and then called the FBI.
No, that didn't happen. He did not kick the guy out of Mar-a-Lago and then call the FBI. These right-wingers are so misinformed, it's not even funny. God damn. But at least you acknowledge he's in the files.
I didn't get to ask my question, which was, party unity, the Epstein files. I mean, do you think Trump's in there?
Yeah, I'm sure he's in there. Because he's the one that was telling the FBI about it. He's the one that kicked the guy out of Mar-a-Lago and then called the FBI. Yeah, he's in there.
So, what's going to happen? Are you going to vote to release him or vote to keep him?
Oh, we need to release him.
You want to vote to release him?
Yeah, man. I have no problem releasing him. But, you've got to go through the judicial. We all know that. The problem is, it'd be our luck that somebody's going to bleep somebody that was supposed to be protected, and then what?
Yeah, well,
so they've got to go through and
victims' names and all that stuff.
They've got to
protect those pedophiles.
And then, of course, now you got judges that are saying, I'm not going to release anything, grand jury, blah blah blah, because this lady's over here filing an appeal or whatever, and it's. I'm not a lawyer and I'm not a judge, but it is more complicated than just saying, boom, here's the files, take them.
It's not really more complicated than that. You just pretty much have to release the files, redact victims' names. Happens all the time in court cases. I had a video of some Epstein victims, and I was going to play it, and I don't know what I did with it. But victims of Epstein, very unhappy with the way this is being handled, and came out and said they have not been invited on any kind of right-wing media whatsoever. So what does that tell you? Pam Bondi not doing too good of a job of getting indictments, though. OTM, welcome in. Grand jury declines to indict the alleged Washington, D.C. sandwich thrower. Sean Charles Dunn was arrested after allegedly throwing food at a Customs and Border Protection agent. Grand jurors have rebuffed federal prosecutors by refusing to approve a criminal indictment against a man who allegedly threw a sandwich at a law enforcement agent in protest against Donald Trump's deployment of armed troops on the streets of Washington, D.C. It's the second time in recent days that a grand jury had declined to vote to indict a person accused of assaulting a federal officer and signaled strong public objection to Trump's decision to send National Guard troops and federal agents onto the streets of the U.S. Capitol, purportedly to crack down on violent crime. The case of Sean Charles Dunn, who was accused of hurling a sub-style sandwich. It was a $5 foot long. Became a cause celebre after video of the episode went viral on social media. Dunn, 37, a former Justice Department paralegal, was initially charged on August 13th after being accused of throwing a sandwich at a Customs and Border Protection officer who was patrolling an area of Washington, D.C.'s Northwest District known for its bars and restaurants with other agents. The complaint against Dunn states that he stood close to the officer and called him and his colleagues fascists and shouted, "I don't want you in my city." And everyone in the jury went, yes, he's correct. Throw more sandwiches at them. An ICE agent who has been facing federal charges has now been found dead. So probably took himself out for us. Another good cop.
A patrol agent who faced criminal charges for allegedly fighting officers in Long Beach has died. The Riverside County Sheriff's Department says Isaiah Hodgson was found dead inside a home last Friday. He was also involved in detaining a 20-year-old Walmart employee outside a store. That was back in June. Last month, he was accused of fighting with Long Beach police while drunk and armed outside a restaurant there. No word on how he died, but we're told that investigators do not suspect foul play.
Still a lot on radar, but it is moving really far.
So I would assume he did it to himself. Subway should name a sandwich. If Subway wants to get in this marketing game, they absolutely should name a sandwich after the sandwich thrower. I'd go buy one. And I don't even like Subway. Me bitching about Subway is how I found out Subway in Britain is way better and ended up calling the one in Hawaii and talking to that woman. Like, hey, didn't you hear about how awesome the Subway menu is in Britain? Trump's former FEMA chief opens up and says the administration is delaying aid. Months after his firing, Cameron Hamilton contradicted the administration's claims of efficiency and suggested officials could be lying to the American people. Could be. Cameron Hamilton, who led the Federal Emergency Management Agency from late January to early May, contradicted administration statements about making FEMA more efficient, saying in social media posts on Tuesday that new forms of bureaucracy are delaying the deployment of emergency help during disasters. Hamilton's criticism on LinkedIn and on X stunned some disaster experts and marked his first public comment about FEMA since he was fired after voicing strong support for the agency. Hamilton posted his 4-sentence statement the day after 181 current and former FEMA employees issued a letter accusing Trump administration officials, including Hamilton, of weakening the agency. 3 dozen FEMA employees who signed the letter were put on paid leave, the letter writer said on Wednesday. Hamilton's post appears to address FEMA's response, which said that the agency previously had been bogged down by red tape inefficiency and outdated processes that failed to get disaster dollars into survivors' hands. Hamilton said, stating that FEMA is operating more efficiently and cutting red tape is either uninformed about managing disasters, misled by public officials, or lying to the American public to prop up talking points. FEMA is saving money, which is good due to the astronomical U.S. debt from Congress. Oh, God. Despite this, FEMA staff are responding to entirely new forms of bureaucracy now that is lengthening wait times for claim recipients and delaying the deployment of time-sensitive resources. President Trump and the American people deserve better than this. he's still being a sycophant, even after he was fired. And this was, if he assumed the role in late January, that means he was put in place by Trump and then fired by Trump. This is still a developing story. Moving from FEMA to the CDC. The CDC chief targeted for refusing to rubber stamp unscientific, reckless directives, according to lawyers. Susan Monterez's lawyers said the attack was a warning to every American. Our evidence-based systems are being undermined from within. She was also put in place by Trump. RFK Jr. is weaponizing public health and putting millions of American lives at risk, according to Susan Monterez, who was removed from her position as director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention on Wednesday without being told why she was fired. First, it was independent advisory committees and career experts. Then it was the dismissal of seasoned scientists. Now Secretary Kennedy and HHS have set their sights on weaponizing public health for political gain and putting millions of American lives at risk. According to her lawyers, Mark Zaid and Abe David Lowell, in a statement on social media, when CDC Director Susan Monterez refused to rubber stamp unscientific, reckless directives and fire dedicated health experts, she chose protecting the public over serving a political agenda. For that, she has been targeted. Dr. Monterez has neither resigned nor received notification from the White House that she has been fired. And a person of integrity and devoted to science, she will not resign. This is not about one official, the lawyer adds. It is about the systematic dismantling of public health institution, the silencing of experts, and the dangerous politicization of science. The attack on Dr. Monterez is a warning to every American. Our evidence-based systems are being undermined. The Department of Health and Human Services offered no explanation when it announced in an unsigned social media post that Monterez, who was confirmed by the Senate as CDC director just last month, was no longer in charge of the public health agency. Sources who spoke anonymously for fear of retribution told the New York Times that Monterez had objected to sweeping changes to the panel of experts who advised the agency on vaccine policy made by Donald Trump's anti-vaccine health secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Administration official also told the Times that Kennedy had summoned Monterez to his office on Monday and demanded that she resigned. After she refused to do so, she called Dr. Bill Cassidy, the Republican chairman of the Senate Health Committee. Kennedy then accused Monterez of being a leaker and said that she would be fired. Hours before Monterez left the agency, Kennedy held decisions by the Food and Drug Administration on Wednesday, revoking the emergency use authorization for COVID-19 vaccines manufactured by Pfizer, Moderna, and Novavax that CDC experts estimate saved 3.2 million lives in the United States. Vaccines from John, you stupid fuck! Tampon Tim. The police in Minnesota have not been defunded. Calling Tim Walz Tampon Tim shows you're a dumbass who is deep in right-wing propaganda, you absolute fucking moron. Shit. You're listening to me do stories about how pedophile fucking Trump, the pedophile con man that got elected to be our president, is dismantling our agencies that will result in lives being lost. And you're on here talking about Tampon Tim, you stupid fucking piece of shit. I swear to God, you people are some of the dumbest fucks walking the planet. And once again, Mr. So-called Christian that loves everybody coming in here, passing judgment on people, calling them names, because you're a goddamn hypocrite. Hey, Big Ben, what's going on, my friend? On top of the CDC director resigning, 3 other CDC leaders resigned in protest. Inside Medicine, a newsletter written by Jeremy Faust, a public health researcher and emergency medicine physician, just published the full text of email statements 3 CDC leaders who resigned on Wednesday sent to their colleagues to explain their reasons for leaving the U.S. Public Health Agency after its new director abruptly departed. The most explosive charge came from Dr. Dmitry Deskalauskas, who stepped down as the director of the National Center for Immunization and Respiratory Diseases. I am not able to serve in this role any longer because of the ongoing weaponization of public health. You are the best team I have ever worked with, and you continue to shine despite this dark cloud over the agency and our profession. Please take care of yourself and your teams and make the right decisions for yourself. For the good of the nation and the world, the science at CDC should never be censored or subject to political pauses or political interpretations. I have no idea what you're talking about, John. And once again, your fucking book that you believe in tells you to pray to yourself. When you pray, go and lock the door, be in silence. Not to pray on the streets like the hypocrites. You stupid fuck. I have no idea what you're talking about. Use no photos of Robin. What the fuck are you talking about? You stupid piece of shit. Oh my God. Az, welcome in. I got a dumbass over on YouTube just fucking blah, 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 about the stupidest fucking shit. Out here talking about how Trump is going to get people killed with their FEMA management and their health agency. And this motherfucker is still going on about Tampon Tim. You're a dumbass, John. Fucking moron. Oh, yes. I meant to play that clip. The mayor said we need more than thoughts and prayers. We need actual common sense gun legislation. That's what the mayor was saying. He didn't come out against prayer. You stupid fucking piece of shit. Which is, you know, it's funny because the kids were literally praying when they were shot. It's almost like there's no God up there. Fucking idiot. Now, listen to these stories about Trump literally putting lives in danger instead of fucking going off about nonsense. As the measles exploded, West Texas officials looked to the CDC scientists and no one answered. As measles surged in Texas earlier this year, the Trump administration's actions sowed fear and confusion among CDC scientists that kept them from performing the agency's most critical function, emergency response, when it mattered most. An investigation from KFF Health News shows the outbreak soon became the worst the United States has endured in over 3 decades. The months after Donald Trump took office, his administration interfered with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention communications, stalled the agency's reports, censored its data, and abruptly laid off staff. In the chaos, CDC experts felt restrained from talking openly with local public health workers, according to interviews with 7 CDC officials with direct knowledge of the events, as well as local health department emails obtained by KFF Health News through public records request. CDC hasn't reached out to us locally, Catherine Wells, the public health director in Lubbock, Texas, wrote in a February 5th email exchange with a colleague 2 weeks after children with measles were hospitalized in Lubbock. My staff feels like we are out here all alone. A child would die before CDC scientists contacted Wells. All of us at CDC trained for this moment, a massive outbreak. One CDC researcher told KFF Health News, which agreed not to name CDC officials who fear retaliation for speaking with the press. All this training, and then we weren't allowed to do anything. John, you're already out here spreading the right-wing fucking line of bullshit. You've already done it, so stop. You're a fucking idiot, dude. We're out here without the help of the CDC while several public health events are going on, like West Nile virus.
2 deaths related to West Nile virus cases have been reported by the Minnesota Department of Health.
Now the agency is encouraging people to take some precautions when stepping outside. Our Aaliyah Demery spoke with a supervisor at the state health department. She's joining us now live in studio with more about this virus and what we all need to know to stay safe. Good morning.
Good morning, Jess and Kelsey. Those deaths come from the 20 reported cases in Minnesota so far this year. Experts say the risk of the virus are much higher in the state's western and central areas, which have better habitat for mosquitoes. Here in southeast Minnesota, we don't have much of that ideal habitat, but mosquitoes can likely travel and spread the disease. The virus is transmitted through the bite of an infected mosquito. I spoke with Elizabeth Schiffman, an epidemiologist supervisor with MDH. She says this year's hot weather and heavy rain played a key role in the amount of cases reported. She also says cases can fluctuate yearly. West Nile is an infection that many people may never know they have. Schiffman tells me symptoms may not show until weeks later and can be mild, such as fever, headaches, and aches.
Or it could kill you.
This is known to have bigger effects on older people, and in rare cases can lead to encephalitis or meningitis.
For the vast majority, you're not really maybe even going to know you have it. But it does mean that we need to be really careful about mosquito bites because, like you say, we all get mosquito bites in the summer and you just never quite know what that mosquito might be carrying. So that is why we really emphasize prevention.
Some steps to protect yourself include wearing pants and long sleeve shirts when outdoors, making sure that
in the summertime
during the evening to keep mosquitoes out, and using insect repellent. I'm sure almost everyone has gotten a mosquito bite this summer, including myself. And for more tips to keep you and your family safe as we wrap up the summer, you can visit our website. Reporting live in studio, I'm Aaliyah Demery.
Hey, John, I absolutely condemn your violent ideology. You voted for Trump. I condemn your violent ideology. I condemn your Christianity, which is also a violent ideology.
Condemn.
The overwhelming majority of shooters in this country identify as Christian. Ho! Mississippi has declared a public health emergency over a spike in infant deaths. There were 9.7 infant deaths every 1,000 live births in 2024 in Mississippi. Mississippi health officials have declared a public health emergency after new data revealed a spike in infant deaths, causing the highest infant mortality rate in the state in over a decade. In Mississippi, there were 9.7 infant deaths for every 1,000 live births in 2024, which is almost double the most recent national average of 5.5 deaths per 1,000. The state has long struggled with high infant mortality rates. All southern states do. The states that are the most religious have the highest infant mortality rate. I condemn your violent ideology, John.
Condemn.
Leading causes of infant deaths in Mississippi include congenital malformations, preterm birth, low birth weight, and sudden infant death syndrome. Too many Mississippi families are losing their babies before their first birthday, said State Health Officer Dr. Dan Edney. We cannot and will not accept these numbers as our reality. The data also showed that black infants in Mississippi are twice as likely as white infants to die before their first birthday, echoing a concerning national trend of black infants having the highest mortality rate across all races because they have less access to health care. In 2024, 15.2 black infants per 1,000 live births died, compared to 5.8 of every 1,000 live births of white infants. Mississippi State Department of Health officials say they hope by declaring a public health emergency, they will be able to take quicker actions to address the troubling trend. Health officials' plan includes expanding prenatal services in areas without obstetric providers, expanding community health programs, and addressing gaps in maternal care at hospitals and medical providers. 3 times as high. The government limiting who can get the COVID vaccine. While we've not covered it on this show, it's barely touched the media, but COVID fucking roaring out there. Why COVID comes roaring back every summer, even as the pandemic fades. By many measures, the coronavirus is a thing of the past. Masks have been stored away. Social distancing is just a vague memory. Interest in vaccines is waning. COVID, for many, feels like an inevitable annoyance like the flu. Then, each summer, we get a rude reminder. The season of travel and fun continues to bring a spike in COVID-19 activity, far less profound than during the height of the pandemic, but enough for people to notice and worry. This summer's jump is being fueled by the subvariant XFG, nicknamed Stratus. As we learn more about COVID, we are seeing that it has 2 surges a year, the late fall, early winter, and in the summer, so we expect this trend of increased cases in the summer to continue. There are a number of factors that could explain why COVID activity seems to ramp up along with the temperature, according to Los Angeles County Department of Public Health. Summertime travel and increased social mixing because of social events, spending time indoors to beat the heat. Respiratory viruses tend to spread more easily in environments with low humidity and cool temperatures. Air-conditioned spaces might not have adequate ventilation. Waning immunity from vaccination and previous infections, and mutations. As the virus spreads, it acquires mutations that allow it to evade our existing immunity. Eventually, a version of the virus collects enough mutations that it has a slight edge over other viruses, and if other factors line up, it can sweep through a population. The rate at which coronavirus tests in California came back positive was 11.59% for the week ending August 16th. That's up from a positive test rate of 5.69, nice, for the week ending July 19th. So doubled in about a month. The positive test rate is expected to further increase in coming weeks, the department said. That's as kids return to schools. And we are still finding, and I just saw a study that says the more your vaccine wanes, the higher your chances of long COVID. Nobody is talking about long COVID anymore. Trump apparently upset about a court striking down the congressional maps in Utah. What to know about the order to redraw congressional maps? A court sent the maps back to the legislature before the 2026 midterms, and new boundaries could favor Democrats. John, you stupid fuck. You don't have to be scared in America. It's mostly deep blue areas. You stupid piece of shit. Do you know that the states with the highest violent crime rates are all red states? The cities with the highest violent crime rates, all fucking cities in red states. You stupid piece of shit, man. The poorest counties, all red. Infant mortality, all red. Like, what are you talking about? You listen to right-wing propaganda, which fucking rots your brain, dude. I'm over here literally telling you. Robin Robert was batshit crazy because of right-wing propaganda. We already went over this. They were clearly radicalized by right-wing media on the internet. But you think they were trans and a Democrat, right? Which they may have been trans. I'm still doubtful. Yep, that's it. Guy at work was complaining about how his wife kicked him out because he's constantly angry. He watches right-wing propaganda, which keeps him angry. Like, they constantly just fill you guys with hate. Byronic, welcome in. Like, I can't with you, dude. You called in, you told me like you were reasonable and blah blah blah, and you keep proving yourself to be a complete fucking moron. Yes, Nazis don't like Trump. Some do, some don't. It all depends. Some Nazis think he's too in bed with Israel, which was the case with our shooter friend from earlier. NZ, what am I crying about? I am correcting a dipshit in my chat who was crying about blue areas and their high crime. Oh my God. A Nazi is an authoritarian ethno-national. Now, a lot of Nazis in this country like Trump because he is an authoritarian ethno-national. A lot of Nazis don't like him because he's in bed with Israel. He talks about how wonderful Benjamin Netanyahu is and how he helped the state of Israel. So that is why a lot of Nazis that have a lot of hatred for Jewish people don't like Trump. That's why I have to point out when MGT or MTG or whatever the fuck comes out and talks about Israel, she's doing it because she's a fucking Nazi. John, you're fucking crazy. I've pointed it out multiple times. And if you weren't here when we watched their fucking manifesto, it is clear they were a right-wing nut job. They literally promoted a Republican candidate in their manifesto. Hey, NZ, if you'd like to talk to me, 917-830-4359. Or you can hop in the Discord. How has the left imploded? We seem pretty united. I get a lot of right-wingers, because right-wing media feeds you this bullshit. Like, oh, the Democrats are incredibly unpopular. That's true, But then if you look up the favorability rating of Republicans, it's like a point above Democrats. Both parties are incredibly unpopular. Republicans never seem to acknowledge that, though. What is happening is most people in this country are propagandized and stupid. I'm going to say it again. Most people in this country are propagandized and stupid. They have no idea what's going on. And you will see them flip-flop. They'll vote for one party and then they'll vote for the other party. What that tells us is they know the system is fucked. Okay, NZ, you're probably one of the people I'm talking about that is incredibly uneducated and uninformed on the topics. Because that's the only way you can go from Bernie until flipping over to Trump. That is the only way you can do that, is to not know what the fuck you're talking about. Happy to have a discussion with you, 917-830-4359, where you can hop in the Discord. What's happening is people are upset with the system. I literally feel for the liberal psyop and you think only right-wing is propaganda. No, I know what propaganda means. I'm doing propaganda right now, you stupid fuck. What liberal I'm not a liberal, and I don't fall for psyops. I have critical thinking skills. I don't think that only the right wing is propaganda. No. Okay, first of all, you saying, oh, anyone who disagrees with you is uneducated. I never said that. That's called a hasty generalization fallacy, and you'd know that if you were educated. Furthermore, I actually literally have the data that shows that people that voted for Trump because they were uninformed on the issues. Hold on one second. I will pull up the chart for you. So empirically, I have the data that shows that people that support Trump are uninformed. Oh, I love this. I love Flash with his I literally said the only way you can go from Bernie to Trump is to be completely uninformed and uneducated. And I fucking know that to be a fact. Misinformed views on immigration, crime, and the economy correlated with ballot choice. If you answered the question, violent crime rates are at or near all-time highs in most major cities. If you answered that that was true, you were likely to vote for Trump. If you answered correctly that that was false, you were likely to vote for Democrats, overwhelmingly. If you answered the question, inflation in the U.S. has declined over the last year and is in near historic averages, as false, you were likely to vote for Trump instead of Democrats. I don't know who you came in and started talking about the left and shit, so I have no idea who you voted for. Don't fucking care. I was answering your literal comments. So maybe you need to be more succinct in the things you say if you don't want to get lumped in with Trump supporters. John, shut the fuck up. Seriously. Ooh, DJ Dub, I didn't even notice that. Your name is NZ. Come the fuck on. Are you going to call in or are you just going to cry? You're going to cry in my comments. Because that's what you accused me of. That's the first thing you said. Like, oh, leftists are crying. That sounds like a Trump story. Then call in and tell me, you dumb fuck. You accused me of being a leftist crying, and clearly I'm not crying. You're the one crying in my comments. So if you think that I've misrepresented you somehow, call the fuck in. Discord in. Tell me what I got wrong. Go on. I would love to have a conversation with you about it. But you ain't going to do it. Because you ain't got no fucking balls. So if you're done crying in my comments, we'll get back to the news. Utah redistricting. What to know about the order to redraw congressional maps? A court sent the maps back to the legislature before the 2026 midterms, and new boundaries could favor Democrats. Utah is being thrust into a national battle over redistricting. A court ordered the state. How am I crashing out? How am I crashing out by mocking how dumb you are? You're saying I have no balls? Motherfucker, you're the one crying in my fucking comments, not calling in, not on Discord. You seem like a fucking coward. You want to run your little cocksucker in my chat, but you won't have a conversation with me. Do I have that correct? So aren't you the tough guy? I mean, then maybe you'd know what a logical fallacy is and you wouldn't say stupid shit in my chat. Did you ever think about that? Right-wingers attack education because they're scared of it. You all lack critical thinking skills. Troll the Trolls Let's Play? Well, I don't get it. Brother, like, I'm the troll. I am king troll of the internet. Utah redistricting. What to know about the order to redraw congressional maps? A court ordered the state this week to redraw its congressional map for the 2026 midterm elections. The new district boundaries could make one of Utah's 4 congressional seats competitive for Democrats as the party fights to topple the Republican Party's slim majority in the House. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is pushing Republican-led states to add winnable U.S. House seats for the Republican Party. Utah's current congressional map was adopted by the state's Republican-controlled legislature in 2021 and divides heavily populated Salt Lake County, an island of Democratic support in an otherwise red state, among all 4 congressional districts. The 4 congressional districts converge within a couple of blocks in the Salt Lake City suburb of Mill Creek. A voter could grab a milkshake at the beloved Iceberg Drive-In and cross into all 4 districts before it melts. Lawmakers presented the map as a way for each representative to serve both urban and rural areas. One district spans the entire eastern border of the state and groups vastly different communities, from the winter resort town of Park City to the urban center of Provo, down to the Red Rock recreation hub of Moab. Voting rights groups that challenge the map argued it intentionally dilutes the Democratic vote, produces Congress members who aren't suited to represent all of their constituents. Before the map was adopted in 2021, one district had traded hands between Democrats and Republicans. All have since elected Republicans by wide margins. The district court judge Diana Gibson on Monday declared the map unlawful because the legislature had circumvented an independent redistricting commission established by voters to ensure districts don't deliberately favor a party, a practice known as gerrymandering. Voters in 2018 narrowly approved a ballot initiative that created the commission to draw boundaries for Utah's legislative and congressional districts, which the legislature was required to consider. Lawmakers repealed the initiative in 2020 and replaced it with a law that transformed the commission into an advisory board that they could choose to ignore. The following year, lawmakers disregarded a congressional map proposed from the commission and drew one of their own. The Utah Supreme Court said the legislature is extremely limited in changing laws passed by voters and sent the case back to Gibson to decide the map's fate. Gibson has given lawmakers until September 24th to adopt a map that complies with voter-approved standards. Voting rights advocates who were involved in the legal challenge can submit alternative proposals. The tight deadline for lawmakers to draw new maps could push them to reconsider proposals from the Independent Redistricting Commission that they had ignored after the 2020 census. Those plans create a compact district combining the Democrat-heavy cities of Salt Lake City and Park City while grouping other cities geographically. Republican leaders could cut their losses by creating a single left-leaning bloc or gamble on creating competitive districts that Republicans will fight to keep. Republican officials could also use appeals to try to run out the clock before a candidate filing deadline in early January to possibly delay adopting new maps until 2028. The U.S. Supreme Court is unlikely to intervene, and the state Supreme Court may be hesitant to entertain an appeal after it already asked Gibson to decide. Oh, they did not include Trump's rant. You want to talk about crying? God damn, Trump does it all the time. And boy, did he go off on the judges over Utah. Monday's court order in Utah is absolutely unconstitutional. How? How did such a wonderful Republican state like Utah, which I won in every election, end up with so many radical left judges? They aren't radical left judges. They're just judges, and they are upholding the law, you fucking fascist. All citizens of Utah should be outraged at their activist judiciary, which wants to take away our congressional advantage and will do everything possible to do so. This incredible state sent 4 great Republicans to Congress, and we want to keep it that way. The Utah GOP has to stay united and make sure their 4 terrific Republican congressmen stay right where they are. How in the fuck are you guys not insulted by this guy every day? I'm talking to you, NZ. I'm talking to you, John Prick. How are you guys not insulted by this guy? I honestly don't get it. Meanwhile, J.D. Vance is trying to lobby representatives in Indiana to fuck with their congressional seats.
Indiana Republicans say their roughly 4-hour-long meeting at the White House covered a wide array of topics, from Medicaid to immigration to education. They also confirmed tonight they did speak with Vice President J.D. Vance about redistricting mid-decade, a move universally condemned by Indiana Democrats.
This is throwing Hoosier voters into the garbage.
Tuesday, Indiana Democrats expressed outrage over Republican colleagues meeting at the White House, in part to discuss redistricting ahead of the 2026 midterms.
They went to help Donald Trump cheat to win.
Our congressional districts are already gerrymandered.
One Indiana Republican who was at the White House says the vice president made his case to the roughly 50 lawmakers present to redistrict early.
A lot of folks after were asking each other, hey, what do you think now? What do you think about this? And
State Representative Craig Haggard says the discussion was...
And this is fucking you guys, the voters. Republican voters in these highly gerrymandered districts are the ones that suffer because you get worse representation. You should want all of our congressional districts to be as competitive as possible, whether you can win them or not. And that's why Republicans don't want them to be competitive, because Republicans are deeply unpopular.
Cordial, and that the vice president acknowledged it's ultimately up to state leaders to make the call.
it was not a, hey, do this or else. It was, hey, this is why we believe, and hopefully you'll believe the way we do. And but he left it up to us.
As for the possibility of a special session as a result of Tuesday's White House meeting,
I'm making the assumption we'll go into special session. I don't know that. I've not been told that. But I think that before, as lawmakers, before we make a decision, yes or no, we should meet and see what is presented to us and see if that makes sense.
We did reach out to state Republican leadership for comment. We have yet to hear back. In studio, Hannah Adamson, Fox 59 News.
I wasn't going to cover this story, but I have to because apparently this guy's nickname is fucking Train Daddy. Trump takes over Penn Station and taps Train Daddy. Trump tapped Train Daddy. I've been looking for a GOP mommy. Trump's been looking for a Train Daddy. Former New York City Transit President Andy Byford, known as Train Daddy, has been tapped to oversee the overhaul. He's a visionary, Duffy said, pointing out the station's failing infrastructures in Penn Station.
Okay, so anyone who's traveled through parts of Penn Station can tell you this can be a situation.
But Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy and President Trump say they want to change that.
Fox 5's Stephanie Bertini live at Penn Station, where Duffy today revealed plans of a complete overhaul. Hi, Stephanie.
Hey, Antoine, Natasha. So 2027, that's the construction start date promised by officials. But they say the commitment to revitalize Penn Station, it starts right now. Some details were discussed at a press conference here just hours ago. Well, this is the Penn Station that we know, right? Even a look at the outside, most of you know what it looks like on the inside. Well, the plans include beautifying and modernizing Penn. A $43 million grant was announced to kick off the search for a master developer. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy and Amtrak Special Advisor Andy Byford, who many New Yorkers know affectionately as Train Daddy from his past job as head of the city's transit agency, promised to deliver a world-class station. The master developer solicitation now underway, also set to begin soon. A service optimization study led by the Federal Railroad Administration to evaluate ways to safely accommodate passenger growth across the tri-state region and maximize train capacity. Next May, preliminary designs are expected to begin. Construction is scheduled to start by the end of 2027, we're told.
Everyone likes to talk about the design of the new station, and that's the fun part. I like that fun, right? Looking at the renderings, figuring out what the station might look like in the future. But the transformation of Penn Station must be much more than bricks and mortar. It must be about making the station operationally sound, safe, clean, and easy to navigate.
How do we serve the American people? How do you serve New Yorkers? Or those in New Jersey, or those in the greater Washington, D.C. area? That's what matters to us. Not spending money, but delivering on the investments that our taxpayers actually make in these systems.
You cup the balls.
Hochul reacting in a statement. The governor said one of the first things I raised with President Trump in January was the need to give New York City the beautiful Penn Station it deserves. Those conversations successfully secured federal funding in April to advance redevelopment, allowing us to reallocate over $1 billion for other critical projects. With Secretary Duffy now advancing this project and requesting design proposals, New Yorkers are one step closer to a station worthy of this great city. And Duffy said it's really about improving transportation when it comes to train and rail travel across the Northeast corridor. A lot more to see on this. We're going to keep following it. Back to you inside.
John, shut the fuck up. Nobody wants to hear it. And do not come in here and say the COVID vaccine isn't a vaccine. That's fucking stupid. You are an idiot. God damn. Lenny, I had this realization the other day. When Curious and I went to the Weekend concert, we're coming back from the stadium. She's like pushing me to get back to the drop-off so we can take the shuttle back to the hotel. But I'm like looking at my watch. I'm like, we aren't going to make it. Stop and let me rest. This is too much. So, like, I am sweating profusely. And I'm very, very tired, and I need to sit down. And I am looking around. I'm like, why are there no fucking benches anywhere? Why? Why are there no fucking benches here? And Curiouser looked over and was like, so homeless people don't sit on them. And I'm like, God damn, I hate this fucking country. Fuck, we gotta punish people because we hate homeless people. Just house the homeless people and give everybody else benches. John, the moniker is right-wing propaganda, dude. Fucking, it's idiocy for you to call him that. He's one of the most popular governors in the country. He's probably not even your fucking governor. The residents that I have from Minneapolis or in Minnesota that are his constituents really like the man better than most politicians. And why are you still fucking talking about that? Seriously, you're a fucking moron. Please shut up. I guess. That's the word. Like, right-wingers have weird hang-ups on sexual things. And they think, like, nudity is sexual when inherently it's not. Why do you give a shit if there were tampons in the men's room? First of all, wasn't Tim Walz that did it. Second of all, there are people that identify as male that may have vaginas. Third, you may have, like, visiting teams from another school that are in, like, the boys' locker room on one side and the girls' locker room on another. So there might actually be girls in the men's room for some reason. Putting tampons in all restrooms is actually a good decision. And you can look up why. So the fact that you're still stuck on this, which was fucking right-wing, they weren't even in the boys' bathrooms. I thought it was something about locker rooms or something. I don't even know. I don't even know enough about the issue. They were at the nurse's office and the front reception desk. And somehow the right wing turned that into Tampon Tim wants to put tampons in the boys' restroom, which who cares if he did? It is one of the dumbest. I swear to fucking God, man. I've shown you that Trump is going to get people killed with his policies on FEMA, with his policies on vaccines, with his policies at the CDC, and you're harping about tampons. That's how fucking dumb you are. Learn to feel embarrassment. I don't even care enough to look up a lot of the right-wing fucking bullshit that they go with to debunk it. I know that whatever the policy wasn't Walz's policy. Been fact-checked 100 times, and there's nothing to it, but for some reason John is obsessed with this shit. And I have no clue why. Why, John? Why? And I appreciate that, Flash. Go follow Hogwatch on Twitter. Hogwatch on Twitter. Hogwatch 6. I'm sorry. And I love that this motherfucker believes in a book that tells him to not judge other people, to turn the other cheek, to treat others as they would want to be treated. Comes in here calling people Tampon Tim. I'm going to call you Tampon John from now on. How about that? Oregon gal, welcome in. We are in the crime section of the show. Tampon John, I love it. Tampon John from now on. I don't think this happened while I was doing the Troll Patrol. I think it happened right before the Troll Patrol. But we watched the video after the Troll Patrol started. Back about 5 or 6 years ago, there was, I think it was a jewelry store robbery. The robbers ended up hijacking a UPS truck with the driver still inside, held hostage, and the cops decided to just empty their guns into the UPS truck with the UPS driver being held hostage and murdered him. The cops, this is in Florida where this happened, the cops are claiming the stand your ground law as to why they shouldn't be charged.
It is the second day of testimony in a hearing for police officers involved in a deadly shootout in Miramar nearly 6 years ago. A UPS driver was one of 2 innocent people killed in the crossfire. His family speaking with Local 10 News after getting emotional.
There was another innocent person killed because they were just shooting into this UPS truck. It was stuck in traffic. There were people all around it. That's what, it didn't happen while I was doing the Troll Patrol, but the video came out while I was doing the Troll Patrol. No one wants to go out to dinner with you, John. You're an idiot. And you just come in here and you say the dumbest things, Tampon John.
It is the second day of testimony in a hearing for police officers involved in a deadly shootout in Miramar nearly 6 years ago. A UPS driver was one of 2 innocent people killed in the crossfire. His family speaking with Local 10 News after getting emotional in the courtroom. Local 10's Roy Ramos is live with it all. Roy?
Yeah, that family was in the courtroom as new video was shown, video that they are seeing for the first time. They say it was very difficult to watch, so difficult that the mother of that UPS driver had to walk out.
Dispatch calls played in court where officers are heard advising what they are seeing inside a stolen UPS truck as it flees from police. The men inside shooting at officers before they have nowhere else to go. Body-worn camera from Miami-Dade police showing the moments officers surround a UPS truck with its innocent driver and 2 armed men inside as a hail of gunfire rings out. From up above, a judge shown how dozens of officers from multiple agencies move in. Ultimately, Lamar Alexander and Ronnie Hill, who had just robbed a Coral Gables jewelry store, would be shot and killed, along with the UPS delivery driver Frank Ordonez and bystander Richard Cutshaw. Ordonez's mother and stepfather seeing the moments their loved one's life was taken for the first time.
It's heartbreaking, very heartbreaking. As you can see, my wife had to leave the court and in tears.
At the center of this hearing, suspended Miami-Dade officer Jose Mateo, whose attorney is trying to prove under the Stand Your Ground statute he...
Suspended! He's been collecting a paycheck for 6 fucking years.
Included with 20 other officers, had no choice but to return fire on Alexander and Hill, something Ordonez's stepfather, Joe Marino, believes could have been avoided.
I think the negotiator probably would have released Frank.
On the stand for the second day, the state's witness, Alex Villanueva, a retired FDLE special agent who investigated the case. In court, Mateo,
it was like 2019,
along with 3 other officers now facing a manslaughter charge after they opened fire that day. The state trying to convince a judge their actions were negligent and the innocent victims weren't posing a threat when they too were shot by the bullets of law enforcement officers.
Well, they weren't.
It says the video says it all. It says exactly the actions that were taken.
And the judge has adjourned for the evening. Testimony from the state's witness will continue tomorrow. We'll be here for that and let you know what happens. For now in Fort Lauderdale, Roy Ramos, Local 10 News.
Roy, thank you.
I've seen a lot of cops fire one-handed. And they shoot a lot of other cops. A cop shot a cop in New York City. Cuomo went on Twitter to talk about how dangerous it is for cops without mentioning that it was another cop that shot the cop. In Grant County, New Mexico, 4 deputies have been fired after a viral video of them has surfaced. John, you're a sad story.
New tonight, 4 sheriff's deputies in our state are out of their jobs. This comes after disturbing video surfaced showing one of them killing a baby rabbit.
Oh my God, no! I can watch bombings and shootings and all kinds of horrific shit. I can't watch them do that. Whoa. Ooh. What gigantic pieces of shit would do such a thing? Oh, hey, John, are you still here? Let's throw another one on the pile of why I hate religious people. They are the worst people. They are the worst people in the world. I hear somebody's religious and I automatically think there's something wrong with them. They have to be hiding something. A Houston pastor busted in a $50 million trafficking case.
Federal agents swarmed the campus of a North Houston church. 2 of its pastors are now accused of running a $50 million labor trafficking and money laundering scheme. KPRC2 reporter Rochelle Turner is outside Joshua Media Ministries International with what investigators say was happening.
The possum lived. I tossed the possum out. It was alive. Thank you very much.
Behind closed doors.
Federal prosecutors say the 2 leaders solicited donations and even forced followers into labor. Now, all day we've seen agents coming in and out of this campus. We spoke to a man who works next door, and he says that he noticed unusual activity at the church in the past year. He remembers trying to offer a man some water while he was cutting grass, but says he just looked away. Drone video shows a bird's eye view of the JMMI Global Campus for Harvest off the North Freeway in North Houston. The property belongs to the Kingdom of God Global Church. On Wednesday, a heavy law enforcement presence surrounded the facility. FBI agents moving in and out for hours. Sean Oakland works next door at City Electric Supply and says the scene didn't shock him.
I rolled up and I saw a lot of cars parked in the street right here, and we had probably about 6-7 cops in here, and I pretty much knew right away what it was. When I first started working here, they let me know that there's a cult right behind us, and I was wondering what that was about. I thought they were messing with me, and I looked up the name and saw the owner, his previous indictments and everything, and walked inside. I was like, y'all weren't joking, huh?
Federal prosecutors say ministry leaders David Taylor and Michelle Brannon ran call centers in Michigan, Florida, Texas, and Missouri. They're accused of forcing followers to work long hours for little or no pay, pressuring them to meet steep donation quotas. Victims report
make sure he gets his money.
Ministry housing or even slept inside those call centers with their movements strictly controlled.
They would have people cut this big field of grass with a push mower. And they would be out here for 8 hours a day. I mean, from sun up, sundown, and I don't know, whenever I leave, I don't know what happens, but they were here the whole time I was here. And we always joked that it was punishment, and now reading all this stuff, the unpaid labor, I'm sure it was.
According to a 10-count federal indictment, Taylor, who called himself an apostle, required some followers known as armor bearers to serve him around the clock, Prosecutors allege they transported women to him and in some cases were told to take emergency contraceptives. Oakland says strange things were common, like unmarked cars and armed guards on the property.
Big stages in the back, no one's ever on them, set up with pictures of people's faces and a curtain where you couldn't really see what's going on. People peeping in and out of windows, only time we ever really saw people.
Taylor was arrested in North Carolina, Brannon in Florida. Both are expected to make their first court appearances very soon. Investigators say this is only the beginning and they're urging anyone who may be victimized to come forward. Reporting in North Houston, I'm Rochelle Turner, KPRC 2 News.
Tampon John, you should be glad that I have ethics and didn't become a preacher, because I could have scammed you for so much money. What'd that dipshit say? COVID does not follow flu patterns, and flu did not disappear from 21 to 23. We had very few flu cases in 20 into 21. Because COVID measures work against the flu, you stupid fucking idiot. And why are you still talking about COVID? John, we literally used to do a fucking segment called What the Fuck is Wrong with Fort Worth, where all kinds of crazy shit was happening all the time. You're just a moron. You're just a fucking moron. I can't bring myself to scam them. That's the I tried to start the Patriot Patrol Facebook page. I was totally gonna run a scam on them, but then I got my Facebook taken from me. So wash your ass.
Life is too short to walk this earth for a crusty asshole. Wash your ass.
You are right, Flash. Do go get your COVID shot and your flu shot. Lenny, I think you were here with us earlier when we were talking about COVID cases right now. And the less protected you are by vaccination, the more likely you are to get long COVID. And you don't want long COVID. We are going to look back at this time period, and people are going to Buddy, you just said it during the last story. I'm not way behind in the chat. You're way behind on topics, and I responded to you after I wasn't stopping the story I was doing to respond to you because you're not important, Tampon John. The way we treated COVID and allowed so many children to get long COVID, myocarditis. It's going to be looked at as a tragedy. It absolutely will. And I don't think we even have our heads wrapped around how bad long COVID is. But hey, idiots like John are out here like, let's just go out without masks and buck restrictions because we're stupid. I'm sure you had some religious, you had a pastor bitching about how his church was shut down. He couldn't bilk you guys for as much money as he did. It was deliberate for the sake of capital. Deliberate for the sake of capital. And as I was saying earlier, like the capitalistic system is falling apart. Everybody sees that the system is failing them. That's why Democrats, Republicans are unpopular. That's why they're just going to keep voting one party out, one party in. It's just going to keep flipping back and forth until the system collapses. Everybody realizes that there's something wrong with the system itself. There is a Honduran man apparently suspected of murder. The cops used a robot to get him. Julia, did I tell you good evening? He just walked away from it. Oh, I guess he hands up. Okay, he's surrendering. They got a drone too? Here too, welcome in. How many millions of dollars did they waste? They could have just went in and got the dude. Silent, welcome. He just seems so nonchalant about there being a robot in his living room. What a video. Oh, we don't have the whole story? The Kenner Police Department SWAT team executed a high-risk operation and apprehended Elvis Caballero Zuniga, 53-year-old Honduran national wanted for homicide, utilizing advanced technology including a SWAT robot, drones, and armored vehicle. Zuniga surrendered to the robotic units, allowing officers to take him into custody without incident. Millions of dollars to bring that dude in. When did this happen? Did this happen last year? Was I still at the old apartment when this happened? I think I was. I think this happened last fall. A woman by the name of Shiloh Hendricks became a right-wing martyr because she called a kid a racial slur. Raised, was it hundreds of thousands or was it tens of thousands? Because she called a kid a slur. She's now been arrested.
A Rochester city attorney filing a summons complaint charging a woman with disorderly conduct after she went viral last spring for allegedly using a racial slur against a child.
It was last spring.
Tonight in Olmsted County, several people are praising this move. Fox 9's Babs Santos went to Rochester to learn more about it. He joins us now live with the details. Babs?
Well, Randy, part of the process here was the city attorney trying to get input from the victim's family to make sure that that family wanted to move forward with charges. However, there were 3 families actually claiming to be the family involved in all of this, so it took law enforcement some time to figure out which family it truly was. And after figuring that out, today the city attorney moved forward with these charges.
It's about what we can do within the letter of the law, and while it's frustrating and there are different opinions.
Many people in Rochester have been waiting for this day since last April, waiting to learn if Shiloh Hendricks would be charged with a crime after allegedly using the N-word to rebuke a Somali boy with autism who reportedly took a pouch of applesauce from her diaper bag, an encounter at this Rochester playground that went viral on social media.
But yeah, I don't agree with it at all. I don't agree with using that kind of verbiage.
This week, charges came down. 3 misdemeanor counts of disorderly conduct with a maximum sentence of 90 days in jail and a $1,000 fine. In charging documents, authorities say the 36-year-old was hostile and racist to the 8-year-old child, all because of a pouch of applesauce. The child's parents allegedly feared Hendricks would strike the boy, and Hendricks allegedly said he was about to hit him for taking her son's stuff.
I think it's justified that she's being charged. I think it's completely unjustified her reaction to the situation, especially being a child. special needs or not, a child's a child.
Now, Mayor Kim Norton hopes her damaged community can begin to heal. Already, there have been protests, community conversations, and an NAACP town hall.
Yeah, but Matt Walsh said she was a hero.
Surrounding the First Amendment and First Amendment rights, but words do hurt people.
And another detail.
She's not old enough, Flash. She's younger than me, probably. Come the fuck on. How can she be my GOP mommy if she's younger than me?
In all of this that some may remember, after that incident, Shiloh Hendricks had an online fundraiser raising money to relocate that brought in about $800,000. Today, the mayor admitted that law enforcement is still unsure if she has perhaps since left town.
Wow.
Babs Santos, Fox 9.
All right, Babs, thank you.
She probably has left town, so she hasn't been arrested, just charged. And they haven't brought her in. She made almost $1 million on her racism. What one yesterday was younger than me? I don't know who you're talking about, Holiday. I think Anna Paulina Luna is younger than me. And she's the one on the fucking graphic. Oh God, she's real young. Like she's 36. She's a lot younger than me. Fuck. Oh my God. So a naked man in East Tennessee led police on a chase this morning, and it resulted in a manhunt.
News Channel 11.
Breaking news tonight, a man is in custody after a search that lasted more than half a day and involved several state and local agencies. That's our breaking news tonight. I'm Sarah Diamond.
And I'm Casey Marlar. The Washington County, Tennessee Sheriff's Office's Michael Vernon Edwards was arrested after a traffic stop just after midnight. He reportedly managed to get to the front seat of the patrol cruiser and stole the vehicle.
After crashing that vehicle, Edwards reportedly ran away in the Cora Lane area of Oak Grove. State and local authorities searching for him since a little after midnight. News Channel 11's Belle Johnson is near the scene where all of this started. So, Belle, what can you tell us now that Edwards has been found?
Absolutely, Sarah. Casey. Well, once again, Washington County Sheriff's Office has confirmed that Michael Vernon Edwards is in custody. Now, Sarah and Casey, I've been on this scene just about all day, and I've seen a handful of different agencies on the scene looking for Edwards. Now, all this started about midnight right here in the parking lot of the Gray Station Baptist Church. Deputies tried to arrest Edwards behind the church. We're told by the Sheriff's Office that he had tried to escape but was caught by deputies. One deputy was injured during an escaped attempt. Edwards was placed in a vehicle while the deputy was getting checked out. Edwards then escaped with the vehicle, then crashed it and ran away, which led to a nearly 17-hour manhunt. Multiple agencies were called in, including the Johnson City Police Department, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, and the Tennessee Highway Patrol. The Sheriff's Office also says Edwards is on his way to the Washington County Detention Center. And right now, Edwards faces multiple charges, including aggravated assault and evading and resisting arrest. He could also face charges from other agencies. In Washington County, Belle Johnson, News Channel 11. Sarah, Casey.
Oh, wow. They kind of left out the best part of that. I wouldn't known if I hadn't been sent the fucking rundown from the scanner this morning. Manhunt for unclothed, handcuffed male suspect that stole and crashed a police car. The fact that he was naked makes it so much funnier. You would chase a naked man? I mean, is there an aside to that? Like, if you saw Charles Manson naked, you probably wouldn't chase him, right? Probably meth. Could have been Xanax. But he probably would have been more subdued if he was on Xanax. But you never know. Duh. This is a wild story. I didn't get to cover it last night or night before last. There was an explosion in a neighborhood. A young man survived the explosion but had to hide in the basement and then make it out through the flames.
Tonight, we're hearing from the family of one of the victims of the explosion who was rushed to the hospital. 18-year-old Dante Anthony has burns on more than 85% of his body. There's now a fundraiser being held for him and the other affected families this weekend. And 5 on your side's Laura Barczewski is live from the Grandel Theater, where they'll be hosting the benefit. Laura.
Yeah, Mike, it'll be right here on the Grandel Theater patio this Sunday, just ahead of the St. Louis Arts and Entertainment Awards. And all of the donations collected will go to the Hardy Anthony family and, as Mike said, the other affected families. Dante's uncle Terrence says he's so grateful they made it out alive. It was an average Monday morning for the Hardy Anthony family. 18-year-old Dante Anthony was at home by himself. His uncle Terrence Hardy says Dante was getting ready to head to work later that day.
He had done some things upstairs. He had went downstairs to sit down, and he said sometime after, shortly thereafter, it was either a tick-tick or a click-click, and then the explosion happened. Of course, I guess his instincts kicked in, and by him being an athlete, track athlete, he kicked it into gear. The roof had caved in and blocked his entrance, so the only way for him to really get out was to go through the fire, which is where he sustained a lot of all of his burns of injury.
And I got a level 1 trauma over here.
Oh,
when
wow.
he was able to get out, he was coherent, and he said that he was going to call his job, because he was more concerned about going to work.
Terrence says more than 85% of Dante's body
Fucking
is burned,
capitalism.
but he's showing signs of improvement.
But yeah, it's touch and go. He's under a lot of sedation, but we are there. His mom is there now, around the clock, making sure that when he opens his eyes for however long, they're there.
Dante has a twin brother, Deontay, who just started at Maryville on a track scholarship. They both just graduated from Hazelwood Central, and a younger sister, Yaya. Their parents, Dante Sr. and Nikki, are also athletes. Nikki was out for a run and came home to find the damage.
She says she didn't hear it or feel it because, she was running. But when she got back on her way back is when she started seeing all the, the activities.
The family actually just got back into the house after having some work done on it. This is what it looked like before, and this is what it looks like now.
Oh, wow.
It is miraculous that there were no fatalities.
They still don't have any answers about exactly what happened, but neighbors reported smelling gas beforehand.
Right now,
if they had just done work, then I would assume that somebody possibly punctured a gas line.
Now we just need, whatever, the community just to continue to support us and show love for the family. Like I said, if you have any donations or anything, however you want to contribute, we need it. The families need it, and we are very thankful for everything.
Terrence said he wanted to give back through his event this Sunday, and they'll be collecting those donations from 11 to 3 out here at the Grandel Theater. We'll have a link on KSDK.com to his Facebook page where you can look up what the families need. And then we also have a link directly to the Hardy Anthony GoFundMe page, again on KSDK.com. Reporting live in St. Louis, Laura Barczewski, 5 on your side.
If anybody wants to go and check out those fundraisers, there's the link to the story in the chat. I hope he makes a full recovery. It is wild that we pump gas into houses. I say in a house that has gas heat. Remember the whole, you'll take my gas stove from my cold dead hands. Right wing, that's another reason to phase out gas in new buildings. That was what was the law? It was New York City. It was like phasing out gas in new buildings by 2035 or some shit. Probably a good idea. One, because like it causes asthma in kids, and two, because it causes explosions. We cover explosions from gas way too often here on this show. Completely changing gears now. Any Will Smith fans in the chat? You like his music? Would you go see him in concert? Apparently not a lot of people are going to see him in concert, and he's been accused of faking his crowds using AI.
Okay, well, you know about the Swift news. Guess what? The internet is also buzzing right now over this video, and it's from Will Smith, that he posted on YouTube from his comeback tour in Europe. A lot of folks online are accusing the musician and the actor of posting a video using AI to change the appearance of his crowds, mixed in with shots of real people. And of course, it's now becoming harder and harder to distinguish reality from computer-generated material. NBC Stephen Romo takes a closer look.
Will Smith posting a promotional video from his concerts after releasing a new album. It doesn't seem too out of the ordinary, but then the internet started noticing something unusual, with comments accusing the artist of using fake AI crowds. And you can see what they're talking about when you look up close, faces in the sea of fans appearing distorted and not quite right. We asked AI expert Hani Fareed for a second opinion.
So there's no doubt that there is real footage in the video. There's also no doubt that there is some AI content, but even that has some nuance to it.
The whole thing extra ironic because of the video's title. My favorite part of the tour is seeing you all up close. We reached out to Will Smith's team for a comment but have not heard back, and we have not seen a public response to the controversy. Some commenters confused, as other videos show Smith performing for large audiences. One person saying the fact that he's using AI to fake the crowd when he's actually playing in front of a pretty big crowd already is insane.
Really?
I think what happened is they took a still image from a real scene and then animated with AI for a few seconds. And so is it real or is it fake? A little bit of both.
Hey, Will, up top! The harsh backlash coming after a rough few years for the rapper turned superstar actor who stayed out of the spotlight for some time after the infamous Oscars slap in 2022, an incident he apologized for. Last year, he came back to the silver screen with the release of Bad Boys Ride or Die, grossing $400 million globally. Smith tried to ride that momentum with the release of a comeback album in March titled Based on a...
This is his second comeback album, by the way. He's tried this before.
True story. But it's not the chart-topping success he was previously known for. Smith is no stranger to the world of AI after a fake meme of him eating spaghetti went viral a few years back. His response, making light of the whole thing, posting a non-AI clip. And as the tech advances, the meme becoming almost a test of how good AI is getting.
If you look at the trend for the last 1, 2, 3 years, the technology keeps getting better.
No, it doesn't.
The line from reality and fiction.
But fans not letting these visuals get by them. One user accusing Smith of doing it for the purpose of getting attention, adding, it seems to be...
Oh, that could be it.
Yeah, isn't that what Hollywood is all about, trying to get attention? But listen, you know, you make the point, Stephen, the consequences for AI that's looking so real these days, you know, it's far more than just, you know, one individual actor who may be, you know, trying to buff up his reputation. It deals with the news business, with politics, with everything.
Yeah, it certainly does, Tom. It really comes down to trust. If you're a favorite performing artist in...
Poor Lord, I'm glad you stayed up late with us tonight. It's not often we get you here for the full show. I'm glad to have you here.
Enhances their videos with AI or makes them with AI altogether, then maybe you take their future videos with a grain of salt. But when we see politicians saying stuff that they never actually said in some fake AI form, then it's not just dishonest. It can be
like
downright dangerous.
AOC with the fun bags.
From the experts in this piece is right now there are those telltale signs of people's faces and hands being distorted. But in a few years, maybe even in just a few months, it could be difficult, if not impossible, to tell fake
from the real thing. Huh? Yeah, look out for the six-finger hands. Thank you very much, Stephen Romo. We'll be right back.
I guess we'll keep it on celebrity news here. I actually, my stream from last night, I absolutely did not do the story. Had no intention of doing the story. But my thumbnail was absolutely... Let me get it back here. So, thumbnail for tonight's show. Last night's thumbnail was, and like I was proud of myself. So the background is Washington D.C. with a bunch of National Guard troops, people protesting it, and then Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce in front of. I don't have any weed right now. I'm sorry. I would love to hit some weed at the moment. So that was my thumbnail from last night. As you can tell, way more views. Way more views than all my other live streams. We had 69 views. Nice. And I assume it's because I had Taylor Swift on the thumbnail. I can show you a cat. I can show you a cat. We make that happen. Yes, he's very cute. He's mean. He's very cute. I love it when he's asleep. Because, like, that's the cutest thing you'll ever see. But he is mean. Yeah, kind of, working gal. That haven't been in the best spot here lately. Curiouser thinks AI took my jib. I don't think it did. I don't think that you can turn to AI and get a video produced, but something is going on because usually people are begging me to do work for them, and I haven't had work. I may get evicted. It's been a rough slog the last few months, and I don't know why. As I said, usually people are banging. I assumed it was economic downturn. Because, like, I worked for a logistics company, and they're like, we lost 50% of our business. And then I worked for a Republican agency, and they actually had me do some work this week. And I just assumed because, you know, they're a lobbying firm, so I assumed they've got no reason to lobby when they're the party in power. So because I used to count on them for a couple $100 a week. No, I said the cat to let you live with him. I thought you said the chat. And I was like, yeah, the chat has offered to let me live with him. That didn't work out very well last fall when I tried that. You would think, you know I meant to do that tonight. Flash, I was totally going to do that tonight and be like, give me money. Give me money. I'll be a Democrat influencer. Shit, did you see what I said about Gavin Newsom the other day? Give me money. I'll sell out. I keep saying it, and Curiouser keeps making fun of me because I keep saying it. I need to get on and find like a job, I guess, now. Like something that has a steady paycheck for a little bit. And I'm probably going to just sell out and take a marketing job. I've never done it. I've always been like, oh, I'll do broadcasting. I'll do certain things in my field, but I won't do marketing. But now, like, I'll go work for some corporation in their marketing department for a couple of years. I don't give a shit. Pay me $100,000 and give me insurance, and I'll take it for a little bit, and then I'll just go back to freelancing in a couple of years. But yeah, it's been a rough few months. To be completely honest with you, when I went to the concert the weekend, Curiouser paid for everything. Because I even told her, she asked me if I wanted to go. I'm like, I do not have the money. I can't do it. And she's like, listen. She asked for something in return. And I gave it to her. So, she was like, I'm not saying you have to, but thank you, Big Ben. Anonymous gifter throwing out the gift sub. Thank you, Anonymous. I didn't want to say it, what I gave her, but she came into chat and then asked me why I didn't make a comment about it. And I was like, well, I didn't think you wanted everyone to know. A hug and more. She had apparently because she hooked up with a guy like a month. I shouldn't be telling her shit. I'm not. I'm gonna stop. Lil Justin never. There's the possibility that there is a Lil Justin because I got really drunk when I went to Talladega in like 2007. I came all in this woman that I met. Have no clue who she was. If there's a Lil Justin running around, it happened in Talladega in like 2007. Are we going to have little Tay-Tays and little Travises running around? That was me setting up for this story. A PR professor cancels class due to Taylor Swift's engagement in a viral teaching moment.
Focus, class is canceled, get out of here. Hello class, as you know, we were supposed to have a biochem midterm today, but Taylor and Travis just got engaged. No way. Due to this information, I can't focus, you all can't focus, class is canceled, get out of here. We gotta
go. How are they having a midterm? School just came back in. That'd have to be one of those like 4-semester kind of deals. Pittman later explained the stunt was intentional. In a follow-up video, he said the bit was designed to show how social media reacts to major cultural moments. It's pretty big news, he explained, predicting Swift and Kelsey's engagement post could have been the #1 shared post in the history of social media within 24 hours. While that didn't quite happen, Pittman pointed out that the timing of the announcement was key, landing just before the NFL season begins, when Swift fatigue among some fans tends to spike. Swift and Kelsey's announcement comes only weeks after the New Heights appearance with the Chiefs star shattered YouTube's podcast record for concurrent viewers. For Pittman, the viral class canceled clip doubled as a reminder of why viewers should be wary about believing everything they see online and how even professors can pull off a pretty effective marketing stunt. I don't get the Swiftie outrage. I don't get the Swiftie love either. I don't get either side of it. We watched the Eras tour on Live Music Monday, about this time last year, whenever she was wrapping up. And it was fine. She uses a little bit more backing track than I. Because like you go and listen to Lady Gaga and there's a backing track, but you can hear her breathe into the microphone. You can hear the imperfections in her voice. She's literally singing the songs. With Taylor, she was singing, but it was hard to discern how much of that was the backing track and how much of that was her. And I feel like a lot more of it was the backing track than her. The show was fun. I don't even really remember much of it now, and it was like 3 hours long. Yep, that professor's probably trying to write a book. But hey, while we're on the subject, let's find out what Donald Trump's thoughts are on their engagement.
Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are engaged.
I think he's a great player. I think he's a great guy, and I think that she's a terrific person.
Trump's a Swiftie, isn't he?
Taylor's music about 25% less now, okay? I was not a Taylor Swift fan. I was there along with Taylor Swift. How did that work out?
Tyler X, welcome in. Tyler, my friends, so glad to see you guys. We're getting ready to wrap up, actually, but I'll stay on for Twitch. I'll stay on a little bit longer. I'll put up a poll. You guys can pick what we watch after the Troll Patrol. Nope. We're no Epstein files. We covered that earlier. Representative Collins from Georgia says Trump is absolutely in the Epstein files. Nope, we are talking about Taylor Swift.
A great player. I think he's a great guy, and I think that she's a terrific person.
Let's say that I like Taylor's music about 25% less now, okay? I was not a Taylor Swift fan. I was there along with Taylor Swift. How did that work out? How did that one work out?
Things working out okay for Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, with Donald Trump wishing them well on their engagement, months after he declared to the world, "I hate Taylor Swift."
But she shook it off.
The president can come after you. Yeah, that, I don't care.
These are things that make me break out in a full body sweat.
Trump reacting to Tavis's happy news during a cabinet meeting at the White House today.
The biggest pop culture news of the year broke while we were in this cabinet meeting. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are engaged, and the world wants your reaction, sir.
Well, I wish him a lot of luck. No, I think he's a great player. I think he's a great guy, and I think that she's a terrific person.
The singer and president have had
They're going to get me a copyright claim. That was too much of Taylor's song.
20 election opponent Joe Biden.
You couldn't possibly endorse her. But she's a very liberal person. She seems to always endorse a Democrat, and she'll probably pay a price for it at in the marketplace.
But you know what? Donald Trump likes my music 25% less.
Fast forward 4 years, Taylor doubled down, this time backing Kamala Harris.
There's a poll for what to watch after the stream. You've got 5 minutes to get your votes in.
There are many musicians and other stars.
Ryan Stelzer.
To help Kamala Harris.
This dude.
Taylor Swift she's on a different level.
I thought he was on News Nation now.
Level of her own.
Now it seems the president might be ready to bury the hatchet.
I think he's a great player. I think he's a great guy, and I think that she's a terrific person.
Heard Katy Perry hugging in that video. It's a good question, Drake. It's a surprise. It's a surprise as to which one it would be. Could be fool us. Could be tell a lie. Could be bullshit. Who knows? As somebody asked the other day whose line it would be. It could be any of them. I actually have a Whose Line playlist now that has every single episode on it. Most of the new ones. I don't actually have all of the CW version. I had to download them individually instead of in a pack together, unfortunately. I've tried to go back and watch bullshit, but I don't actually find it interesting anymore. I find it kind of pedestrian. But it could be fun to pop one on. You will find out. You vote for Penn and Teller, you don't know which one you might get. We did watch To Tell a Lie. We watched that a couple weeks ago, and it was really good. I thought it was the opposite. I thought it was like, it's like 8 stories, and I thought 7 of them were a lie, and 1 was true. But it was the opposite. It was 7 of them are true, and 1's a lie. And that made it really hard.
Well, an emotional reunion in Chicago, a legally blind man and his 14-year-old emotional support dog stolen from his very own backyard. This happened nearly 2 months ago.
Sorry, I was muted. I left it to where there's like 100 grand in Freak coin that you can vote. Fucking Warlord has hundreds of thousands, if not millions of points. This motherfucker can completely upend the poll.
Angel Santiago says Bam Bam was taken on June 5th, telling police that 2 unknown individuals entered through a back gate and that he tried to stop them, even grabbed one of the suspects, but the 2 ran off, taking Bam Bam with them. Santiago spent weeks walking several miles every day.
No votes for kids in the hall.
Posters and getting help from volunteers all across Chicago. Then
That was surprising to me. I figured that one would win.
Brought the news he had been hoping for all that time. Bam Bam had been dropped off at a local police station. An investigation is still underway. It was a man and woman who brought him back.
Nope, poll is still going.
Refusing to leave any contact information. But the key takeaway here, Bam Bam and his owner Angel have now been reunited, and Angel Santiago joins us live to share his story. Angel, what a story it is. How do you feel today?
Oh, there he is with Bam Bam.
This whole ordeal, months of being gone.
I feel super happy and joyous. It was kind of rough for Bam Bam the first few days back home. He was shaky, and you can tell that he was just super tired, and he would not close his eyes unless I am just sleeping next to him, and he'll close his eyes just as long as my face he can see close up. So every 10 minutes I can feel him opening up his eyes just to make sure that I'm there.
Aww.
And he's gotten used to that. He's back home, and he's safe. He really is safe now.
Well, that's tough to hear, but it's so beautiful that the two.
All right, Sonny won.
And this was traumatic. Not only
Byronic, are you in here?
and all of this unfolding at your home. So what are the after effects of an experience like this?
Well, for one, I was not gonna stop. I leave my home. I keep walking everywhere that I can, nonstop. I don't care what was in front of me. I don't care how many times I fall down. I don't care if there's a pothole or something that distracts me and I'm on the floor. I'm always able to force myself back up, dust myself off, and keep pushing forward. Nothing, absolutely nothing was gonna stop me for looking for my dog. All this time.
I feel you, bro.
I really truly believe that I'm all alone in this. Not thinking that people would care for a blind person, let alone one that's looking for his dog, his world.
Oh my goodness. Well,
people,
I did want to get to...
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off, but we've got about a minute left. You had a massive outpouring of support. Over $20,000 raised on GoFundMe. How does that make you feel, and what is next for you and Bam Bam? He looks so happy to be home with you now.
Yeah, when he lays down, he'll want my arm. He won't let go of my arm or my hand. He's just taking it easy at home, resting. He's getting back to the way he was, spunky, energetic. Despite
sweet baby.
You can't really tell. He acts like a young dog.
The YouTube people, podcast, Kick, Rumble, all you guys, you're getting the boot. Twitch people, stick with me. Light one up, tick one back. It's all right to have a little fun before you hit the sack. I'm JustinFREAKIN. We'll see you tomorrow night on the Troll Patrol, live.
Well, you're a super pair, and it's just an incredible story, and I'm so happy with this outcome and so grateful that you joined us this evening. Angel Santiago.
Making sure YouTube doesn't pop back on because it has a habit of doing that.
And a big welcome home to Bam Bam.
Really weird.
Thank you for watching.
Oh, shut up, Cuomo.
News Nation app right now on your phone, and you will...
Fuck Cuomo. I'm looking at you, YouTube, making sure you don't pop back on. All right, so we are going to watch 2 episodes of Sunny. One is an old episode and then a new episode from the new season. Oh, Oregon gal. You did not have to send me anything. Like, I'm good. I mean, I'm not, but I'm good. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for your support. Aww. The cats will thank you. I probably need a kitty litter, actually. I was like, am I going to be able to make it to Friday with this kitty litter? All right, let's, Oregon gal, did you get what you wanted to watch? Did you want Sunny, or did you want something else? Oregon gal gets to override everybody. What'd you vote for? Yeah, Warlord. I'm doing it. Yeah, you can bribe me. I think you like Sunny, though, if I remember correctly. I'm not sure if you'd watched it, but you enjoyed it when you watched it with us before. If I'm thinking I might not be correct on that one. But we're gonna watch an episode from season. How is YouTube on? How? It says it's off. That is not right. It does still say I'm live. It's the weirdest fucking thing. It does still say I'm live, but it says I'm off here. So weird. I hate you, YouTube. I gotta go into like YouTube manually. Thank you, Julie, for doing that for me. Because it makes it so much harder on me to get my 14 cents from YouTube. See, it still says there's 2 people watching, but it says it's turned off. It's the weirdest fucking thing. So I gotta go into you because I don't ever use the controls on YouTube. In stream. So wild.